Well, it should come as no surprise that Peacemaker season number 2 pooped the bed. That's pretty much it. It's a mostly lackluster show, pale imitation of the first season. With some high points, there's some cool moments in it. Eagly pretty much has to carry the show with some help from Tim Meadows. But the ultimate plot that you knew was coming, because, I mean, obviously, Peacemaker wants to go to this other world. Oh, my God, it's so much better. His father's alive. His brother's alive. And his father loves him, and he's a world-renowned superhero. They're all superheroes together. It's just the best. So why would he leave that? You got to have a reason for him to leave. Of course, it's Earth X, and if you know DC Comics, which, yes, that is the lore of DC Comics. Earth X is a world where the Nasties won World War II. So, all right, that's a multiverse thing, and this is a multiverse plot. He has that, dimensional doorway and all that sort of thing. And so that's the simplicity of it. So that's, it's a bad place. He got it wrong, and he can't stay there. And there you go. That's how you get him to leave, But they're not really talking about the nasty party. No. So it's one thing to do it in this current era, which we've been in for a long time, and considering recent events, of course, which they could not have known, although even before that, there's no stomach for this. There's no patience for it. The usual things of wokeness and whatnot, if you do gender swaps, race swaps, that sort of thing, your project will be dead on arrival. Even if the rest of it is really cool. Now, this show had good moments, but it's nowhere near as good as the first season. So it's like, Yeah. So even if you do it, you get away, it's like, it will kick the viewer out of the show. It'll kick the viewer out of the movie, however you do this. And such is the case here. So, all right, they did the reveal, no surprise, in the last episode. Like, oh, man, well, how are they going to handle it? So what did they do? Well, look, it's only a couple of lines of dialogue where they crap on Christianity. Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, when's the line coming? Our world is not much better. Yep. Yeah. So that's it. There's no doubt. Don't give me this crap of, I think even Gunn said, yeah, Earth X, but it wasn't really the influence over the story. Yeah, I'll bet it wasn't. Yeah. So that's pretty awful. And is there an out here? Oh, I misunderstood. No. So they're still doing the zombie chase at the outset of Leota being chased by the neighborhood. And there's always been, crazy, absurdist scenes and stuff in Peacemaker. But this one, unless there was some mind control explanation or something, and it doesn't explain her either. So she's running away. She jumps a fence and to get away from the crowd, and that's going to put something obstruction between her and them. And then there's a swimming pool, and she dives into it. Now, to get to the other side even her with her girth and everything would have been much faster to just run around it, but she dives into the pool. So now she's dragged down by the water, and she's splashing and getting to the other side, and then the crowd, of course, they jump over the fence too, and what do? they all jump into the pool. I mean, it might as well have been zombies because, it's a believable scene then because the zombies, they'll follow you off a cliff and everything. But they just all go in, fully clothed and everything. And lo and behold, little judo master shows up and pulls her out of the pool and then electrocutes all the people who jumped into the pool. Yeah. And of course he brags about it and everything. This is supposed to be a superhero, even though he's been working for Argus and all that sort of thing. But he's, he's a joke and all that. So, well, then they had their conversation about, since, he's Asian and she's black. So, oh my goodness, those people, And, oh no, we had to take down Christianity. We had to, it's like, our world is much better. Damn right. Yeah. So anyway, of course, they figure out that Harcourt's an imposter. Then Peacemaker decides to save her. There's a few funny scenes. That's this absurdist, almost like Zucker Brother type stuff where she says, you didn't notice this or whatever. And he's like, no. And then there's Mein Kampf on the desk. And I don't look at books. And then he said, well, you didn't notice the mural on the wall. And it's, the funny mustache man. And he's like, oh, how did I see? So, it's like it's ridiculous that he didn't see it. But he's like, because, he's really stupid. So they fight their way out. They get, out of there. And then ends up being rescued, oddly enough, by his alternate father. And turns out, and that's the only interesting part, is that he's not down with the regime. He's just says, I'm really too old to fight it anymore, so I try to do the best I can. And all that, and basically we got to get you back to your world. And so he's actually a good guy. And I don't know about the brother. He seems a little lost, but they'll probably fill that in the final episode. But of course, he's going to be bent on revenge, and who can blame him? Because stupid vigilante smashes through the window and murders the father. They damn near murder him until Peacemaker finally realized, oh, we can't do that. So he's, stops them. And then they leave, and he turns himself into Argus when they get back to their world and all that, But, of course, his brother's still alive, and so now his brother's dead. He finds that out, even though it was something of an accident. The father actually believes Chris's story, and he's explaining, your brother was a problem and all this sort of thing. But these people came in and murdered his father, flat out murdered him. So that's the only real thing, was like that he wasn't really down for the nasty party. Which of course the vigilante character didn't know this and all that. And I don't know which one killed him. Maybe their own vigilante's the one that killed him, and the DCU one didn't. I don't know. But anyway, there you go. Peacemaker. So they got the next one. But this is not going well. Right now, even with Superman, probably Creature Commandos was their best ever. But even that had its preaching and crapping and on people. And I don't think this is going to work.